parents are furious I didn't consult them about buying my house because they planned that my sister, her husband, and their 3 kids would move in with me. So I said no and cut all ties with them. My name is Lucy and I'm 30 years old. I work as an investment analyst, and I'm pretty good at what I do. Some might say I'm too careful with money, but that's just who I am. Growing up as the younger of 2 sisters taught me early on that if I wanted something, I'd have to work for it myself. My sister Sarah is 3 years older than me. She's always been the golden child in our family, the pretty one, the social butterfly, the one who could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. Don't get me wrong, I love my sister, but our parents' favoritism was pretty obvious from day one. It wasn't just about the money. It was about the expectations. They always expected Sarah to succeed effortlessly, while I was just there. Sarah married Tom right after college. He works in construction management, and they quickly started having kids. Now they have 3, Emma, 8, Lucas, 5, and little Joey. They're sweet kids, but Sarah always complains about how hard it is to manage them in their rented apartment. As for me, I've been lucky in my own way. My best friend Jenny's parents own several properties, and they've been renting me a nice 1-bedroom apartment at half the market rate for the past 5 years. They trust me, and I've never given them a reason not to. I've been saving money religiously since I started working, living below my means, cooking at home instead of eating out, taking public transport when possible. All those small things add up. My colleagues often tease me about being too frugal, but I had a plan. I've always dreamed of having my own place, specifically a small country house. Working remotely became more common at our firm after the pandemic, and I only need to come to the office for important meetings. A peaceful place away from the city seemed perfect. Last week, I finally opened my savings account and really looked at the numbers. After years of careful planning and saving, I had enough for a down payment on a modest country house. I spent hours browsing real estate websites, looking at potential properties. Nothing too fancy, just a cozy place I could call my own. I was in the middle of browsing real estate listings when my phone rang. It was my mother calling with her usual perfect timing. "Lucy, honey, don't forget we're expecting you for dinner on Saturday," she said, her voice carrying that subtle tone of command disguised as a reminder. "Sarah and Tom are coming with the kids, and please try to be on time, for once." I arrived at my parents' suburban house at exactly 5:05 p.m. that Saturday. The driveway was already full. Sarah's minivan took up most of the space, forcing me to park on the street. Before I even reached the front door, I could hear the chaos inside. Emma and Lucas were probably chasing each other around the house, while little Joey added to the cacophony with his toddler squeals. "Lucy's here," Sarah announced as I walked in, barely looking up from where she was trying to convince Joey to eat his mashed potatoes. The kids barely acknowledged my presence, too caught up in their own world. Mom was in her element, fussing over everyone and everything. Dad was already settled in his favorite chair, newspaper in hand. "Everything's getting so expensive these days," he grumbled from behind the pages. "Have you seen the price of gas? Highway robbery, that's what it is." "Tell me about it," Tom chimed in, helping himself to another serving of Mom's lasagna. "And my boss, what a piece of work. Yesterday, he comes in, completely changes the project timeline without even consulting the team." "Who does that?" Sarah nodded sympathetically at her husband while wrestling with Joey's bib. "At least you get to leave the house," she said. "Try being stuck in a cramped apartment all day with these 3. I took advantage of the chaos to check my phone under the table. There was this perfect little cottage I'd been eyeing, 2 bedrooms, a spacious kitchen, and a gorgeous garden. The price was right in my range. I was so absorbed in the photos that I didn't notice Mom watching me until she spoke up. "Lucy, what's so interesting on that phone? You barely touched your food." All eyes turned to me, and I felt my cheeks warm slightly. I could have made up something about work, but for some reason, I decided to be honest. "Actually," I said, "I'm looking at houses. I'm thinking about buying one soon." The silence that followed was deafening. Even the kids seemed to sense something had changed. Sarah's fork stopped halfway to her mouth, and Tom's endless complaints about his boss died mid-sentence. "A house?" Mom repeated, as if she hadn't heard me correctly. "Well, yes," I said, already regretting my candor. "I'm just looking at options right now, nothing definite." "What kind of house?" Sarah asked, her voice oddly sharp. "I haven't really decided yet," I said vaguely, trying to redirect the conversation. "Hey, Mom, this lasagna is amazing. Did you change your recipe?" But I could feel it, the wheels turning in their heads, the unspoken thoughts almost visible in the air. My parents exchanged one of their meaningful looks, and Sarah kept shooting glances at Tom. The usual dinner chaos resumed eventually, but something had shifted. The rest of the evening felt off kilter, like everyone was playing their usual roles but with their minds elsewhere. A week flew by, and I'd almost forgotten about the strange tension at the family dinner. Work kept me busy, and I spent my evenings researching mortgage rates and property taxes. I was in the middle of a Zoom meeting when my phone started buzzing with my mother's caller ID. I let it go to voicemail, but she called right back, 3 times. Finally, during my lunch break, I called her back, expecting some kind of emergency given her persistence. Lucy, finally. Mom's voice was bursting with excitement. I found the perfect house for you. You won't believe how perfect it is. Martha, you remember Martha from church? She told me about this listing in her neighborhood. It's absolutely ideal. I put down my lunch and pressed my fingers to my temple, already feeling a headache coming on. Mom, I haven't even asked for help finding a house. I said, but she was already in full swing, impossible to interrupt. It has 4 bedrooms, no, 5. The master bedroom is huge, and there are these adorable children's rooms with built-in closets. Oh, and the backyard. There's already a playground installed. Can you believe it? And the location is just perfect. Walking distance to St. Mary's Elementary School and the public library. Mom, I finally managed to cut in. I appreciate you thinking of me, but that's not what I'm looking for at all. There was a pause on the other end. What do you mean? She asked. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my voice gentle but firm. I'm looking for something completely different. I want a small country house, something cozy just for me. I don't need multiple children's rooms or a playground. Don't be ridiculous. She said sharply. You can't just think about yourself. You need to plan ahead. This house is perfect. It's even on sale. Martha says the owners are motivated to sell quickly. I know what works for me, I said firmly. I want a quiet place in the countryside where I can work from home. That's what I'm looking for. She made a sound of displeasure in her throat. Well, don't come crying to me when you realize I was right. The line went dead. I stared at my phone, feeling a mixture of frustration and guilt. But I didn't have long to dwell on it because my phone buzzed with a message from Sarah. Hey sis, check this out. What followed was a barrage of links to real estate listings. Every single one was a massive family home in the city, 4 to 6 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, huge yards, all near schools and parks. I quickly typed back. Thanks, but I'm actually looking for something smaller in the countryside. Sarah's response was immediate. But these are such good deals. Look at this one, it even has an in-laws suite. More links kept coming. During afternoon meetings, my phone kept buzzing with messages from Sarah, each one another house listing, each bigger and more family-oriented than the last. I stopped checking Sarah's messages after the 20th house listing. Instead, I called Amanda Chan, a realtor I'd found through positive online reviews. She had a reputation for really listening to her clients, which was exactly what I needed. I want something small and cozy, I explained. A country house, but not too far from the city. A good internet connection is a must since I work from home most days. Maybe a small garden where I could grow some herbs and vegetables. I told her my budget. Her eyes lit up. I think I might have exactly what you're looking for. It just came on the market yesterday. Want to take a look this weekend? The house was about 40 minutes from the city, set back from a quiet country road. As soon as Amanda's car turned into the gravel driveway, I felt something click inside me. The house was perfect, a charming 2-bedroom cottage with white siding and dark green shutters. A wraparound porch hosted 2 rocking chairs, and mature maple trees provided shade in the front yard. Inside, sunlight streamed through large windows into an open-plan living area. The kitchen was small but updated, with butcher block countertops and new appliances. A wood-burning fireplace dominated one wall of the living room. Upstairs, there were 2 modestly sized bedrooms and a full bathroom with a clawfoot tub. But it was the sunroom at the back of the house that sealed the deal. Windows on 3 sides looked out over a well-tended garden with raised beds and a small greenhouse. The owner is motivated to sell quickly. Amanda mentioned as we stood in the sunroom. She's willing to offer a 5% discount for a fast closing. I didn't hesitate. I want it. The next week was a whirlwind of paperwork, mortgage applications, and negotiations. I put down a larger down payment than required to keep the monthly payments comfortable. Every night, I fell asleep looking at photos of my future home, imagining where I'd put my furniture, planning what I'd plant in the garden. When everything was signed and official, I felt like I was walking on air. I couldn't wait to share my news with my family, despite their previous attempts to influence my decision. The following Saturday, I drove to my parents' house for dinner, practically buzzing with excitement. Sarah and Tom were already there with the kids, as usual. We settled in for dinner, and Mom served her traditional pot roast. The usual complaints and conversations floated around the table. Tom's latest workplace drama, Sarah's struggles with the kids' school schedules, Dad's commentary on the economy. Then Mom turned to me with a smile that made my stomach clench. Oh, Lucy, I'm so glad you're here. I was just talking to Barbara next door, she's selling her house. You remember Barbara's house? She's willing to give us, you, a good price, you should really consider. Actually, I interrupted, unable to contain myself any longer, I've already bought a house.